Oh, hey, Liz Miller, VP and Principal Analyst at Constellation Research. Okay, we're going to go through this kind of fast because there's a lot of stuff to get through. But I wanted to pop on real quick just to talk about a slew of announcements that have come out from Microsoft today, really focused around, I'm going to say two things. We're going to put one bucket in the agentic move forward. So, various voice agents that are now available in Copilot and Copilot Studio, you can now empower pretty much anything you want to do in Copilot to be that voice forward, voice first conversation. We can say goodbye to trying to remember exactly what the prompt is to get the Power BI viz to come in. Like we can now just talk about what we want to do, what we want to set up. We're seeing that come to life in the other raft of announcements that have come out specifically around, one of the spaces near and dear to my heart, the contact center. Um, yes, there are a lot of Dynamics contact center updates, and this is a solution that is fairly new to the scene. I'm not going to say it's the newest because, of course, Salesforce slipped in earlier in the year with their new native CCAD solution, but Microsoft was one of the bigger ones in the past year or two, I want to say 2 years, to make that big splash into the scene where we all kind of thought, hey, the contact center market is pretty set. There are a lot of big players. There are a lot of small players for those SMB markets that are coming along. But Microsoft came in and dropped a big old stone and made a lot of ripples in that water. And they're doing it again by really working to make operations in the contact center far more simple. Again, do we need our contact center supervisors becoming prompt engineers and figuring out exactly how to build all of these agentic flows and all of these agentic opportunities? The answer is no, by the way. We don't need that. And now with a lot of these automations, you are really able to simply talk about what type of agentic operations you want to set up, really set up all of those conversations very quickly, very easily. I think the nice thing here that I really appreciate is how the Dynamics team is looking across everything that includes the word service and tying them and unifying the ecosystem around them. So if you are operating, say, Dynamics Field Service, and you are using Dynamics Field Service as your field service point of operation, but you also have contact center and you're trying to figure that out. And you also have a service desk. So maybe you're using Dynamics 365 customer service. These have always been treated like they're separate little clouds, separate little entities, and you got to stand them up. And it's really focused on the people and it's really focused on kind of that functional operation. But more and more, those lines between all of that have to blur. The data walls have to come down. We have to allow AI to be able to flow across all of those things because when you do, you make each individual point of service, each individual point of communications and engagement that much better. And I think the Dynamics team has really started to look across that. And while the rest of the market is kind of running around trying to scream about the death of SaaS and the death of CRM, and there's this new one that's happening where everybody's showing these Venn diagrams of where like CRM is being like the Pac-Man is coming from another circle to eat it. I've seen a couple where it's like there's CRM and there's CCAS and somewhere in the middle there's Nirvana. And so now they're suggesting that CCAS should go and like eat the rest of CRM. And please don't do that. Don't we're not going to do that. That's a conversation for a later day, but we're not going to do that. And I think that Dynamics has been really smart and Microsoft has been really smart. The contact center team has been really smart about very intentionally talking about right sizing all of these points of alphabet soup, right? The CRM is still very important, but CRM is something very different today, especially when we're talking about this world of an agentic enterprise where you have sales and sellers. And go check out what Martin Schneider is talking about with these announcements, because I guarantee you he's got something really smart to say about all of these sales agents and how growth is expanding because of this. But specific to the contact center, I think what we're seeing here is that the contact center is no longer seen as this weird blob that sits off in the corner. We really have to bring it into a single ecosystem where we're talking about field service, where we're talking about customer service and digital service desk. And now we're talking about contact center. How do we bring all of that together so that we can intentionally implement things like collaboration, things like data sharing, things like intelligent operations, things like quality assurance to go across all of that and to bring and elevate all of that so our all of our people get smarter, but more importantly that all of those points start to treat our customers like a unified service ecosystem rather than these random acts of automation that we keep doing. So I'm actually really impressed by what Microsoft has been delivering and how they're looking at how do we turn anything that is within our organization, with our business, that is connecting with our customer. How do we turn that into a growth operations? How do we turn that into that growth engine? How do we stop having that mystical conversation of like, gosh, I wonder when we're going to stop making a dollar from this? Let's do that while also allowing the customer relationship and the customer's journey to remain wholly theirs based on their data, based on what we know about them and what we know about the business. So I think it's a really smart point of intersection. Um, Gosh, we've got, everything from persona specific agents that are flowing across the entire solution. There's a great customer assist agent that's kind of being pulled into the contact center solution. There's a quality assurance agent. One of my favorite is actually the service operations agent that's being pulled in. It's in public preview right now. You guys are going to be able to have a chance to do that, but it actually allows your contact center leadership to really have that conversational guided setup. So in the same way that we have provided a lot of that for marketing and for selling and for our sellers, we're now being able to have those contact center leaders set up, configure, and really optimize in real time, kind of as it's happening, optimize in real time for everything that might be happening in contact center operations. And that's through a guided conversational experience. Okay. It was a lot of stuff. Larry Dignan has a really great summary and write-up of everything that's been released. I'll be honest with you, this announcement and this conversation, especially around this whole like CRM is dead, which automatically make folks like myself and folks like Martin shout, long live CRM, right? It's like we kind of keep ending up in these places. It has gotten the two of us thinking, and so expect to see some more, blog posts and stuff like that from us in the coming weeks. But other than that, hey, keep checking out the insights page. Keep checking out constellationr.com. But for now, folks, have a great day. More news later.